So you're working with your husband here.
Yes.
So Ben Falcone is the man across from her in the first scene. And he's your husband, and he's the director of both of these movies. And you wrote these with him, right?
We did. We wrote Tammy together, and that was the first time he directed. And it was just lovely. And we were hooked on being able to tell. It's a story about Tammy, who's from Southern Illinois. My husband's from Southern Illinois. And we just wanted to tell this kind of bittersweet story of this woman who does find herself. And I just loved her. I loved her because she was not really a get-along gal, but you kind of learn that, the bluster on the outside, and Susan Sarandon plays my grandmother in it, who is just amazing, and, we deal with her alcoholism throughout, and it was just a great time. It really was like an amazing film to have as our first.
Tammy's an amazing character. I think it's one of your great creations.
Thank you.
And I was very moved by her. Even though she's incredibly obnoxious and she's on the edge of being offensive a lot of the time, on the edge of being dislikable, you love her and you feel for her anyway. That's a very difficult thing to pull off. How do you know where that edge is?
You trust your director. There's times where I think we learned on that one to really see how far can you go before you break it. How much is just too much for the rhythm of a whole, might be right for the scene, but wrong for the whole movie. He's very good with that. I look at each scene kind of, in its own world and sometimes think, but my heart is broken. I'm lashing out because my husband's leaving me, and why wouldn't you be pissed off? Why wouldn't you be falling apart and not looking right? I had someone once say, why do you always want to be so grotesque regarding, this was an interview after Tammy, and I said, I don't know how to answer that. I'm not sure when she was, I said, we went back and forth. He goes, we had no makeup on, your clothes were bad, and I was like, that's grotesque, or that's just a woman not wearing makeup? And I said, the character's falling apart. If there was a man in a messy t-shirt and his hair wasn't done, would you say he's grotesque, or would you say he's doing the part? So it was a really good kind of bad interview, really good life lesson, because I just said, I don't know what you're talking about. And, and I fall in love with my character, so you have to let them fall down and do all the wrong things so you can kind of watch them try to get back up and you can root for them. But if you don't let them fall, there's nowhere to go.
No, I think you actually push the envelope with a lot of these characters, and I'm curious about what the writing process was like. You're married. You're living. So, are you going to an office? Are you pacing? Who's writing? Who's on the computer?
Oh my God! For Tammy, we wrote most of it in our car because we had two tiny girls at home. We did not have an office, and it was the only time that we could sometimes we'd just be down the street, just sitting in a car. Like, I had things on napkins. I had weird, unicorn notebooks that I'd taken from my daughter. We just kind of wrote whenever we could. We didn't know. When we finally got an office, we were like, oh, this is so much easier. But we have a weird thing in cars. We always say that we come up with our best ideas. I think you actually get quiet, but we write back and forth. Sometimes he writes, sometimes I write, sometimes I'll just do we'll outline and then do dialogue, and it comes out in spurts, and we keep rewriting. We rewrite through the whole filming process. We rewrite through editing.
So are you in the editing room?
Not as much as Ben, but we will, through the whole ADR, I think there's always, until that picture is locked and it's done,
you can do sound. You can do fun things with sound.
My head turns, I'm going to try to put a line or a sound or something in to just round it out. And it is I think the more time you spend in an editing room certainly makes you a better actor.
So you're writing, you're producing, and you're involved in post-production. Are you ready to direct?
I would really like to direct. I've directed television. I did some Mike and Molly's, which I really enjoyed. And I directed a short for, was it last year's Oscars? They did 3 female directors, I believe, and we all did a short. And I loved it. I loved it. I think I would not want to be in it. I enjoyed the process immensely. At Mike and Molly, I had to run in and out, and I thought, I just want to be there and concentrate on the people in it and not be one of them.
So you do verge on workaholism. You were doing Mike and Molly from 2011 to 2016. Yeah. That's very demanding.
It is, but it was fun. That was a dreamy group of people that we all stay in touch, and it was just the right time for that. It felt like such a second family. That, you know, I think when everybody gets along that well, it kind of changes the dynamic.
All right, now we're going to move on to the boss, which is another character, oh my God, that you created. So she's a wealthy businesswoman who goes to jail for insider trading and tries to reinvent herself. How did you come up with this character?
Oh, you know, I kept thinking of, I loved Linda Dano back in the day. That I was always like, oh, that kind of just brash confidence when you are just, I don't know. There's such a fun. I'm really taken by people, especially when women are so kind of like, I'm amazing. I'm absolutely amazing, and like they mean it. And you're just like, you are kind of incredible. I did a Groundling sketch as Michelle Darnell, and it was one of my favorite things I ever did because it was so interactive. I went into the audience and I talked about how much money I had and how much money you don't have, but I can give you more money, but I have a lot of money. Like, she just said everything that you kind of couldn't say, and that was a fascinating thing. And also, like, why not? Somebody wants to talk about their money, let them. And then finding the heart in that was fun, to be like, everybody has it. You just have to kind of find out where to crack it.
So do you have a sense of who your audience is and what they want to see from you? Are you thinking about them? Is there a woman out there that you're playing to or trying to give her something she can't get anywhere else?
No, I don't reverse engineer it like that. I think I tend to fall in love with someone that I see, or a quality, and then I really start to kind of fixate on it. I start to fixate it. I started for Michelle Darnell watching like different CEOs or different, really powerful women that were speaking and how they moved, and all of a sudden you see that there's a certain rhythm, and I really kind of latch onto it. And then the study of it is like, what is it? What is it about this type of woman? And I think I haven't really seen it. And then once I really kind of fall in love with the person I'm conjuring, then I just feel like, oh, I have to do her. It's the only thing I can kind of think about.
So it takes over you. It becomes obsessive.
It does. Once I really have an image of them, they're so real to me that I kind of feel like it's my duty to tell their story.
All right, let's look at the clips from Ghostbusters and Can You Ever Forgive Me?
Yeah.